The first step of the 3,000-mile service is to change the engine oil. You might spill a bit, so don't do it on a nice driveway, and put a big piece of cardboard under the car. You can change the oil with the car level, but you'll have a lot more room if you put it up on ramps. The drain plug is on the right-hand side of the sump. It's right at the back, so having the car on ramps makes very little difference. At this service interval, an oil filter change is not specified. With a good safety margin, you'll need something that holds about 8 pints or 5 litres to catch the oil. I'm using a proper drain tray. You remove these two plugs to use it. When you replace them, you'll have a completely sealed container you can take to the recycling centre. Before you warm up the engine, loosen the drain plug slightly. That way, if it's stuck, you won't have to fight it under a hot engine. Now you can run the engine for a few minutes to warm it up. This will help the oil to run out. Put your tray under the car and take out the drain plug. Leave the car until the oil stops coming out. This can take a while. Inspect the drain plug. This has a copper washer. If it's not split or crushed paper thin, you can probably reuse it. But if in doubt, replace it. You might also want to fit a magnetic plug if you don't have one. There doesn't seem to be any torque figure published for the Morris Minor drain plug, but vehicles with similar plugs recommend 25 foot-pounds, which is what I use. Now to replace the oil. The original driver's handbook recommends 20W30, but modern thinking is to use 20W50. Comma do a 20W50 marketed as classic oil, but any good 20W50 mineral oil is fine. It takes a while for the oil to settle down to its final level, so don't be too quick with the dipstick or you may end up overfilled. Give your oil funnel a good clean. If you don't, grit and dust will stick to it and end up in your engine next time. Now take the spark plugs out. It's a good idea to number the leads with cable ties first. This is a good chance to have a look at the plugs. If all is well, they should be the colour of a biscuit or a lion. Double check that the car's in neutral and then, without turning the ignition on, press the button on the bottom of the starter solenoid and turn the engine over a few times. This will distribute the oil properly without starting the engine or running the fuel pump. Keep your fingers away from moving parts, of course, and no naked flames, as a bit of petrol mist will come out the plug holes. Put the plugs back and check that the top caps are screwed down. Torque them up to about 28 foot-pounds, or finger tight plus half a turn. Now you can put the leads back on and start the engine. And we seem to have good oil pressure. But we aren't quite finished yet. Follow the link in the video description to find the nearest place to dispose of your oil. Usually it's your nearest recycling centre. And that's the end of part 1. If you want to know when part 2 is published, just click on the horn button at the end of this video to subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you next time.